Welcome to this place called Earth, living the illusion. What if the world you were born into was not built for your soul, but for your obedience? What if the systems you were told would keep you safe? Were they designed to keep you small? We grow up inside structures with big names: capitalism, socialism, democracy, global health, education, and entertainment. We're told they're neutral, natural, even noble. But anyone with a conscience can feel it now. Something at the core of this world is not right. It's as if a veil has been laid over the planet. A veil of confusion, fear, and numbing distraction. The illusion is cracking, but the more it shatters, the more obvious the corruption becomes. At the top of these systems sit people who have become consumed by power. Call them psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, or simply the spiritually lost. Somewhere along the line, they traded empathy for domination, and human beings became numbers, consumers, data points, resources. We see it reflected everywhere, in the way people are pitted against each other, in the way suffering is monetized, in the way attention is harvested like a commodity. Sometimes it feels like the kind of thing you only see in films The Matrix. Dystopias, apocalyptic stories. Except now the themes don't feel like fiction anymore. They feel like metaphors for something deeply real. A spiritual war over human perception. For years, people have noticed strange symbolism in major events, in shows, in ceremonies, and big performances. Whether you see that as coincidence, art, or something more intentional, the effect is the same. Our attention is captured, our energy is drawn in, and we are slowly conditioned to normalize what once felt evil or absurd. At the same time, a specific kind of personality has quietly risen to the top. We call it narcissistic personality disorder in the clinical world. Labels from the DSM make it sound like a rare, isolated problem, but look around. A culture obsessed with image over integrity, ego over empathy, status over substance. Is that just individual disorder, or a collective pattern? From a spiritual perspective, narcissism doesn't feel like a simple diagnosis. It feels like a loss of self, hollowing out of the core, where a person becomes a mask trying to feed on admiration, control, and supply. It's a trauma pattern passed through families, amplified by unhealthy environments, and rewarded by systems built on competition and domination. Generation after generation, children grow up emotionally neglected, confused about love, starved of secure connection. Some become hyper-independent and emotionally shut down. Some become controlling, manipulative, or addicted to validation. Some never learn how to love without fear, or stay without abandoning themselves. And all of this is happening in a world that encourages surface-level connection and hidden pain. Marketing, social media, and entertainment constantly whisper the same message: you are not enough as you are. By something. Become something. Perform something. We're shown idealized bodies, curated relationships, filtered lifestyles. Love becomes performance. Worth becomes a scoreboard. Desire becomes a weapon. This is not an accident. Psychology has been used both to heal and to manipulate. The same knowledge that can help us understand trauma and growth can also be used to push addictions, trigger insecurities, and keep people trapped in cycles of chasing what will never satisfy them. We are told it's all just human nature. But how much of what we call normal behavior is actually the result of generations of emotional damage, carefully amplified by systems that profit from our dysregulation? When you step back, you begin to see a pattern. Food that numbs and inflames, media that overstimulates and divides, work that exhausts and dehumanizes, education that teaches obedience more than self-knowledge, health systems that often treat symptoms and ignore roots. And yet the blame is almost always pushed back onto the individual. You should have read the label. You should manage your stress better. You should just think positive. You should toughen up. All while labels are made deliberately complex. Chemicals are given coded names. And the average person is drowned in distraction, so they rarely have the time or energy to truly research anything. Trust is outsourced to institutions. And many of those institutions live inside the same economic system that profits when we stay sick, scared, or dependent. It's not about one company or one organization. It's about the overall pattern. A world that slowly teaches people to value money over meaning, ego over empathy, appearance over authenticity. We're seeing the cost of that now. rising mental health struggles, addictions dressed as lifestyles, relationships breaking under the weight of unhealed trauma. Generations of men and women who don't know how to relate without fear, or how to love without losing themselves. Hyperstimulated environment where they are encouraged to question everything about themselves before they even had a chance to grow into their own hearts. Conversations that should be held with deep care, time, and maturity are thrown into the public arena as slogans, trends, and culture wars. Instead of guiding them gently into their own inner world, we load them with labels, ideologies, and expectations. We forget that children are highly sensitive, open, and spiritually receptive. The confusion we project onto them can become lifelong imprinting. At the same time, we are rarely taught about the deeper reality of masculine and feminine energy within us, all that every soul carries both qualities in that. Part of our journey is to integrate them to become whole, grounded, and internally balanced. Instead, we get endless battles between genders, caricatures of men and women, alpha, beta, sigma labels, and a culture that pits us against each other instead of healing together. While this is happening, the school system and media quietly do their work, teaching us what to think more than how to think, shaping our sense of what's normal, what's possible, what's just the way things are. And yet beneath all of this, something in us knows there is more. We are born with a soul that carries both logic and intuition, mind and heart, strength and sensitivity. We are meant to grow into sovereign human beings capable of critical thought, deep love, spiritual connection, and self-responsibility. But a traumatized, distracted population is easier to govern, easier to sell to, and easier to steer. So where does that leave us? It would be easy to stop at anger, to point outward and drown in blame. But that, too, becomes a trap. The deeper invitation is this: to recognize that the same systems that try to numb us also reveal exactly where our power truly lies, in the food we choose to eat, in the media we choose to consume, in the people we allow into our lives, and the beliefs we agree to hold, and the courage we summon to question the script. Healing begins when we stop seeing ourselves as broken machines and start seeing ourselves as living networks, mind, body, and spirit, interwoven with each other and with the world. It begins when we understand that narcissism, abuse, and manipulation are not just out there in distant elites, but patterns we can observe, heal, and refuse to pass on in our own lives. It begins when we refuse to let our trauma write the next generation's story. Yes, there are powerful forces invested in keeping people asleep, divided, and numb. Yes, there are industries that profit from our pain. There are agendas that do not care about our spiritual growth. But there is also something stronger than all of that: the human soul waking up. Every time someone chooses to heal instead of repeat abuse, to question instead of blindly obey, to love with boundaries instead of manipulate, to value integrity over image, the spell weakens. Every act of awareness is a crack in the illusion. You are not just a consumer, a patient, a profile, or a statistic. You are not your diagnosis, your bank balance, or your follower count. You are a sovereign being, born into a corrupted world, but not defined by it. They can influence the environment you grow in, but they cannot own your soul. The more you remember that, the more this entire structure begins to tremble. Value your time more than your money. Value your attention more than their approval. Value your soul more than their systems. You are not here to feed the illusion. You are here to see through it and to help others remember that they can too. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It's a place called Earth.